We live in a culture that often defines love as total, uncritical acceptance. Yet authentic Christianity claims to be built on absolute, unbending truth. The shortest book in the New Testament was written specifically to resolve the collision between these two ideas. 2 John delivers a highly specific message. Believers must walk in truth and love simultaneously. They must hold fast to historic Christian doctrine while actively refusing support to those who try to subvert it. The letter is signed simply by the elder. The early church widely understood this to be the Apostle John, writing with decades of pastoral authority. The friction we feel today between hospitality and boundary setting is a foundational challenge. The last surviving apostles saw this exact tension as a major threat to the surviving church. John addresses his letter to the elect lady and her children. Readers have long debated whether this refers to a specific woman and her literal family, or if it serves as a spiritual metaphor. Looking at this antique map of Asia Minor, we can locate the probable audience. Given the plural language John uses throughout the text, this feminine imagery most likely represents a local house church and its members, located somewhere along this western coast near Ephesus. He writes this letter late in the 1st century, likely in the late 80s or early 90s AD. By this time, the Christian movement is entering its 2nd or 3rd generation. The explosive expansion of the early apostolic era is settling into a phase that requires serious, systematic doctrinal defense. As the original eyewitnesses die out, the church enters a highly vulnerable period. Their deeply established culture of radical generosity is about to be weaponized against them. John writes this letter with an urgent, severe directive. He orders this church to refuse hospitality to traveling false teachers. In the 1st century Roman world, legitimate traveling missionaries depended entirely on a network of Christian believers for room, board, and financial support as they moved from town to town. Welcoming a teacher meant bringing them directly into the intimate center of a community's daily life. These ancient terrace houses in Ephesus show us the domestic architecture where early house churches actually met and worshipped. Deceivers learned to exploit this system. They used the cultural expectation of Christian generosity to infiltrate these congregations. Offering a false teacher a bed and a meal actively funded and provided moral legitimacy to their mission. In this historical context, welcoming everyone unconditionally in the name of love had become a reliable method for destroying a church from the inside out. A network of deceivers was spreading a specific heresy. They were denying the incarnation of Jesus Christ. They were heavily influenced by Gnosticism, an early movement that viewed physical matter as evil and pure spirit as good, leading them to claim Jesus didn't actually have a physical body. John draws an absolute line in the sand. Authentic Christian truth requires confessing that Jesus Christ is fully God, who literally came in the flesh, stepping physically into human history. His response is uncompromising. Anyone who denies the physical humanity and deity of Christ places themselves entirely outside of the Christian faith. Attempting to spiritualize Jesus while stripping away his historical physical reality is a fatal error. Truth cannot be softened or adjusted to make a false teacher feel welcome in your home. John constructs a 245-word survival guide in 4 movements: a greeting laying out truth and love, a commendation to continue loving, a stark warning to refuse deceivers, and a warm closing desiring a face-to-face visit. The document structure mirrors its theology. It begins with loving affirmation, establishes severe, protective boundaries against error, and closes by prioritizing genuine community. We don't host traveling missionaries in our living rooms quite as often today, but we do invite teachers, ministries, and media into our minds and our digital spaces. John's ancient warning requires us to exercise strict discernment regarding exactly who we are supporting. Modern culture assumes that tolerance requires tearing down all boundaries. John shows us that keeping toxic, deceptive error out of the church is an act of love toward the vulnerable people inside it. At the center of that boundary is the historical, incarnate Jesus. Any teaching that diminishes him must be rejected. Truth without love becomes cold orthodoxy, and love without truth devolves into sentimental compromise. Genuine Christianity demands both: an unyielding grip on doctrinal truth intertwined with a deep, vigilant love for the community.